In today's video, we're going to take a look and see if running an organic chicken farm is actually profitable. Now, before we go into all the figures and so on, I would like to also give you an overview of how we intend to run our business. Now, I did a bit of research and I came across quite a lot of articles, and they all pretty much pointed to the same thing, and that is feed is going to be the biggest cost in this whole project. So what we decided to do was to introduce pastures to our system. So the idea here is to grow some grass and lucerne, which is going to provide a lot of protein for our birds, and this is going to significantly reduce the commercial feed that we're going to need for this project to work. Now, not all chickens are actually good for pastures. So for example, broilers and commercial egg-laying chickens do not actually do very well in pastures. So we decided to go with broilers and black astrolobes. So these are the two we decided to go with. They're very good at free ranging, and they're also disease resistant, which is also a big advantage. So now let's talk about how we intend to run this operation. So the idea here is to have our chickens to lay fertilized eggs. So these fertilized eggs are then put into the incubator so we can produce our chicks. So we have three business models here that I really want to focus on and talk about. So the first one here is going to be the chicks themselves. So we're going to be selling the chicks. We're also going to be selling the chickens and selling point of lays. So for anyone that wants to start a project where there's going to be selling eggs, this is going to be viable for them because they're going to have chickens which are ready to lay the eggs. All right, so moving on, the second part of our business is going to focus on selling the actual eggs. And whoever is also interested in fertilized eggs, we are also going to be providing that as well. So the fertilized eggs are pretty much ready to be put into the incubator. So whoever buys them can hatch their own chicks. All right, so moving on. The third one here is going to be a hatchery service. So this is where people can bring their fertilized eggs and we can hatch those eggs for them, and of course for a minimal fee. All right, so as you can see here, it's a very straightforward business model. We're not going to complicate a lot of things here. We're just going to mainly focus on these three strands to start off with. We may, branch out later on. So in the future, we are also looking at really focusing on our chicken feed. So we want to be able to buy premixes, and then we can mix it with our own grains, as well as put a lot of effort in the actual pastures. So this is going to be very, very important for us. Now, the question is this profitable, and can we really make money from this organic chicken farm business? So what we did on our website here is we created a form that really calculates how profitable this business could be. So this can also be found on Ruwa Organic Farm /profits-calculator. I mean, anyone can use this. It's free of charge. So the idea with this is to go in and add these numbers here to see what our gross profit is going to be. Our profit calculator is based on commercial feed, which is quite expensive. But if you introduce pastures and premixes to your project, then your profits are definitely going to be higher. So let's start here with, say, 300 chickens. So our selling price per chicken is going to be $10 because these are organic chickens and they obviously taste better. But of course, you can choose whatever price you're going to be selling your chickens. But in my case, I think I'm going to go with $10. Okay, so over here now, we need to add our cost per chick. Now, this is also very important because we need to add this initial cost so that we can calculate our profit. So if you are going to be buying your chicks, these normally go at about $1 each. So now you can see that our total here, gross profit, is going to be $1,650. So our cost being the cost of feed per chicken, which is going to be $3.50, and also the cost of the chicks. So right off the bat, we can see that 300 chickens here are going to give you a profit of $1,650, and this is over a 14-week cycle. So you have to also bear that in mind. So this is why I mentioned earlier on that it's very, very important to go through the figures, because 14 weeks could be a very long time for you to get the $1,650. Now, in our case, we are going to hatch our own chicks. So the cost per chick here is going to be $0. So you can see immediately our gross profit has increased now to $1,950. So this is looking pretty good. And like I said, right off the bat, for 300, we are making a profit of almost $2,000. Now, this does not include other costs like workers, but we are going to try and do most of the work ourselves. I'm going to be on the ground on the farm, doing quite a lot of the work there, but I may get 2 or 3 workers to help out once this project gets bigger. And this takes me to the next point, and that is, in my opinion, for this to work, it needs to have quite a lot of numbers here on the chickens. So let's increase this to say 1,000 and see what happens. So if we're going to be doing batches of 1,000, look at the gross profit. This is looking very exciting. So the more chickens you have here, the better the profit you're going to get over here. So it doesn't really make sense to go in with the low numbers, but of course I know it's an initial massive investment. And also for this to really work well, your marketing has to be on point, and also you have to space them out in such a way that you're selling say 1,000 every month. So you need to have batches that follow every month in order for this to be a viable business. All right, so I know some of you are into this kind of business. Please give me some insight if these figures are not accurate, so we can update our formulas to make sure that we have the right figures. If you have any questions as well, please add them in the video description below. Until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe. Take care.